If you'd like to see more of our videos, hit the subscribe button to stay on top of the market news. Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CM Trading. Today's October 23rd, 2020, and today is Friday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, Bitcoin had that breakout. But the question is, will it hold? We're going to take a look at that today. Looking at the economic events of the day, nothing scheduled for today. However, looking at the currencies, we're watching the British pound retrace after that beautiful breakout the other day. NASDAQ and the Dow Jones pretty much bouncing, but really on very light volume after yesterday's second debate between Biden and Donald Trump. I'm going to take a look at that as well, discuss it on Facebook Live as well. Looking at commodities, gold pretty much range bound and breaking that upwards momentum, while stocks are what we called factored in. Intel came out with earning release yesterday and really not beating or meeting expectations in the street. So really just trading sideways. While this is maybe to be expected of the FANG stocks as they come out with earnings next week, as I mentioned, and that's what we spoke about before, Bitcoin breaking out, and the question is, will it hold? So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So looking here at the GBP USD at a 4-hour chart, the question is this a fake out breakout? Okay, there are breaks out and there are fake out breakouts. And this might be it. And the reason I say that is that if we look at the volume, it didn't really sustain itself as it's coming, as it's retracing. Okay, it does look a little bit better because when we are retracing, we are on lower volume, which is what we want to show us that there was some real buying here. Okay, so keep that in mind. But it could be a fake out also because, people went short as they hit this upper limit, okay, in the anticipation it was going to retrace as it was range bound, but sure enough, it did not and broke out. So something to consider today, okay, let's look if it holds a line, then we may see a bounce, but if it doesn't, we could see a further retracement. So just be aware of it, okay? I would really wait it out to really see how it's going to react today in the anticipation that it may bounce. Now looking at the RAND, now which we've been watching this quite carefully and we've been mentioning about this, and it looks like it's perking up, really resistant to break this 16-ish level, okay? But that is a major level, so keep this on your radar, because if it does break that 16 and does do it with some gusto, we could definitely hit down to 1540 as we mentioned yesterday in the webinar. Now looking at gold, now this is something that I've been watching for quite some time. Obviously, ever since it hit 2000, really has been the center stage. We generally watch it, and as you know, we had this upwards momentum as this was a trend line. Now it has breached it yesterday, okay, and giving us a little bit of a perspective that it is actually trading within a range, okay, but this may be changed, okay, if you do change that, okay, it's not as pretty as it is before, so I'm not as inclined to think that this is going to go higher as quickly, but things may change, okay, so although it did breach that trend line, okay, I'm inclined to say that it may still break out. So 1927, obviously our upper limit, 1900 is a psychological area. So as long as we're bouncing off of it, we could see ourselves trading between the 1927 and 1900 until there's some sort of impetus to move us higher or lower. So keep that in mind as this continues. Now looking at the Dow Jones, yesterday we had a nice little bounce from 27,900-ish level up to 28,200-ish level. Now I want to emphasize this. Yesterday we had this debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. It was much more civil. It was much more to the point. And I feel like I feel redeemed, okay, as a United States citizen, that the presidents and the president-to-be possibly had a much better debate than what they had the first time around. So maybe the markets will react to it positively today, as there may be some light at the end of the tunnel. Looking at the NASDAQ here, not bouncing whatsoever. Okay, so this has really been very sluggish of late, okay, as we're going into the major week of earnings next week. Okay, so looking at the major components, okay, Apple still kind of every day trickling down, still kind of weak, okay, at 113-ish level. Facebook just trading sideways, Microsoft trading sideways as well, okay. So really nothing to write home about when it comes to the high-tech stocks, and it might be factored in. Factored in means that basically all the news is already considered, so we don't expect any sort of surprises. It's no, pandemic or natural disaster that is going to surprise us about the extent and the direction of the market. Now, looking at the Dow Jones Stocks, like Alcoa, actually pushing higher here. Okay, this is really a very important level for Alcoa. 1364 is a previous resistance, so keep this in mind. If it does break above it, we could definitely go into the 1585-ish area. Jumping into Jpmorgan as well, we're back at the 102-ish level. So, stocks are actually trading sideways. It's lighter volume. It's not directional yet because still is to make the assessment of who's going to be the next president of the United States. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin. All right, now this had a beautiful breakout, and what I want to highlight here is that it's holding its line right here at 12,933. So as long as it sustains this, okay, it may retrace half of what it did rally here, so to 12,500-ish level. That would be the point where I would look to actually buy it, okay? Now, obviously, if it did retrace down to 11,600-ish level, that would be a much better bet because that would be previous resistance, subsequent support. So something to consider as this trades, okay? So just wait for the trade to come to you because there will be opportunities. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. God bless. Thank you.